what are we facing? An alternative religion. The religion of humanism, the religion of progressivism, that's based on this old, ancient heresy called Gnostic dualism. Gnostic dualism was declared a heresy by the church, and it's this belief that real persons are not their bodies. Real persons are your thoughts, your aims, your consciousness, and your desires. Intangible things, right? So there were early Christians, the Gnostics, right, who believed that the body was bad, it was evil because it was always prone to sin, and so real people weren't bodies at all. We need to liberate ourselves and just focus on the consciousness and our desires. That's the real person. So Gnostic dualism teaches that the body is just a shell for the real person, who's your thoughts, aims, consciousness, and desires. This is the same false religion and heresy that undergirds transgenderism and abortion. Because in each case, both worldviews say the body means nothing. Real persons are not flesh and bone. They're intangible thoughts, consciousness, and desires. So you may be born in a male body, you may have male genitalia, but inwardly there's a little Sally, there's a little girl inside me. Because my self-identity and my consciousness and my desires are female-driven, and that's the real person. So I'm going to liberate myself from the constraints of this physical prison that I'm stuck in as a male body to find the real me, a woman. And then it's the same thing with abortion. They say the baby may have a body, it may have a human body in the womb, but it's not a person, because real persons are thoughts, aims, consciousness, and desires. And so until the baby is self-aware, conscious, or has a desire for a right to life, the things that they claim ground the real person, then there is no person there yet, even though there's a human body. It's the same freaking ideology. So last year I claimed on social media that I was actually Sally. And I was able to liberate Sally from the physical prison of Seth. And I was so excited for my liberal friends in the culture of death to welcome my experience as a woman who can speak with the same biological authority to the abortion issue as Sally hear me roar. And so I have discovered the way to liberate the real person from the bondage of biology. Because biology and physical realities aren't the real person, because the body's just a shell for the real person. And this is what the humanist pontiffs have taught me about Gnostic dualism. There's a duality between the body and the person, which is why I'd now like to take this opportunity to publicly share with you for one of the first times that I identify as trans-vaccinated. I may never have received the Fauci ouchie, but I have discovered the way to liberate my vaccination status from the prison and bondage of biology. Because the real person is not physical or biological. So I might not have the spike protein, but because the real person is thoughts, aims, consciousness, and desires, I was able to imprint my vaccination preferences onto my real person. And so just as I changed my pronouns on my driver's license, I've also changed my vaccination status on my vaccine passport. And I would like for you to refer to me by my vaccine pronouns, VaxV. Now, what's my point? If that doesn't make sense, then transgenderism doesn't make sense. And if that doesn't make sense, then being pro-choice doesn't make sense. Because in each circumstance, they claim that the body means nothing. It's just a prison for who the real person is. And the real person is always subjective and changing. We can change our self-identities whenever we want. Welcome to the chaos of the spirit of the age. And the longer you tolerate that false religion because you claim to not be political, the sooner you will find that you'll just be in a Bernie Sanders gulag, debating your theological differences with people that you were too pious and self-righteous to unite for on behalf of life and liberty in the public square. So you can look at your king in the eye one day and say, I did everything I could to save your babies as an alternative religion was ripping them limb to limb.